if that was more of a, Rafa feeling. I don't know how much he's played Slash, or if he feels really confident with her right now, or if that was just more exploratory. I want to see, I've been using her on this map, and I want to see how she performs, in a match as they move through the bracket. I'm not really, I can't comment on what he's thinking, or if that's, if we're going to see that as a typical pick from him as he moves forward.
Yeah, it definitely seems pretty risky on paper, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It seems risky on paper, but hey, maybe he develops it into part of his draft lineup that he's well known for. You never know. Maybe people pick it up. The meta's still being developed. Champions and maps are still being balanced. We've seen some major changes to clutch and weapons like the nail gun and machine gun, just projectiles in general. So this game is still improving. So we'll just have to see. But maybe we have glimpsed the future of Slash play.
I expect to see some good stuff from whaz here. I know he's played a lot of Quake Live and Quake Live DueL, so he's an experienced player, and we should expect to see some good things from him right here. I'm not too familiar with MDO, so I can't really comment what can I expect from on his side of things. But whaz, I know, is a solid player. So
excellent. Well, getting right into it with this double anarchy, that's a lot of movement speed to start off with. These guys are going to be able to get around the map in just a few seconds flat, so looking forward to some pretty sick skirmishes that only last 1 or 2 rockets or rails, and then they've got to back off. Okay. That was a pretty good use of his ability in terms of timing, being able to like counter with damage, use your ability, and then sort of get away, maybe get some CDR hourglasses or just get stack going. This seems like a pretty decent start for whaz in terms that he's like reading the other anarchy. He's reading how MDO is going to play this mirror.
He's a little fortunate. That second rail took him down to, I think it was 5 health or less. He used it so quick, his ability. He was really low though, so just got to be careful charging into those engagements when you've already been railed once as anarchy. whaz.
Yep, definitely. I mean, just one MG bullet, just one hit, even with armor, I think would have spelled his death there. So,
Oh,
yeah. Wow, dude.
MDO really had a he should be able to get. He had an opportunity there because he backed off to reanimate. He really could have finished. I thought whaz was caught off guard because he shot the rail and he had the reload timer, so he really couldn't do anything. If he would have just went in there and finished him with machine gun, that would have been a kill right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he could have finished him with anything right there. It's just, I know it's tough to do that because the pressure situation of the match and you're trying to work through the bracket, but that was a killing opportunity he just missed.
Yeah, I see that a lot with anarchies because of how you need to play that champion. You're not a brawler. But so often do I see the guaranteed kill given up because they just made a slight miscalculation or they didn't realize exactly how much of an advantage they had in that next 2 or 3 seconds. I'm sure they'll get it dialed in soon, though. Yep, I was about to say that fight is definitely going to end in a kill, and whaz is able to convert it using that railgun off the rocket. Pretty much the classic combo. One of the surefire ways to kill an anarchy is to put some rocket and rail damage on him because he does have that really limited pool, very small stack we've been talking about.
Oh, good railing. Good railing. Yeah, he had him. Once he hit that first one, he saw his reposition the mouse to the exit, right? Because the player wants to get out of there, and it's a good follow-up rail.
Absolutely. It was off cooldown, by the way. Perfectly off cooldown. So seemed like he knew exactly what he wanted to do and made it happen, and then, yep, kind of off the spawn, catching the Nyx out open in the eyeball room. Top mega, whatever you want to call it.
Prepare to fight.
I even like the patience there. He jumped off. He got railed. whaz. A lot of people would panic in that situation because they're low, but he just turned around, took his time, knew his opponent, had a long reload timer on that shot, and just placed the rocket well and got the kill. Very well done. Very well done.
Yeah, definitely a lot of discipline going into decisions and plays like that. I'm surprised whaz made it out of that. Honestly.
It was good. Yeah, very good disengage for him to get out of there.
Almost catches him on the portal. Ooh, tough break.
Misread by whaz. Good capital, MDO. Came down the hall. Waz didn't expect. I think he expected him to drop from the top there, which is why he came through the hallway like that and got hit from the blind side there on his left.
Yeah, I think it's definitely more common for players to drop down rail or even go all the way over to jump pad there. But MDO was happy to just stroll down the hall.
Good rail.
Ooh. If you can cut him off here. Some unfortunate misses for whaz, but it'll give him an opportunity to back up, get the high ground, come over here for Mega, which he did get. And somehow snaps a rail.
Yeah, whaz has got to be careful running around those corners with the railgun the way he is.
Yeah, especially right
great
there.
shooting. I mean, great shooting, but man, he's got to be careful. And as he moves through the bracket, running through like that and running into to Hang or Rafa or somebody else with that gun out like that, he's going to get punished with some rockets or LG. This is great railing by him right now. MDO, I would imagine, is thinking, oh no, and because when somebody starts lining you up for multiple rails in a row, it definitely affects your psyche and how you're going to make your decisions. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to bring that up. Actually, the difference in certain weapons and how demoralizing it is to get railed, because it's not something you can really react to. You feel particularly helpless, and yeah, so you would agree then that it is one of the more demoralizing ways to get wrecked in this game.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely it feels punishing. You're just getting, it's instant 80 damage, 90 damage if they're zoomed. So it's punishing, and 2 in a row is, oh, what a read.
Yeah.
What a read.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. I think whaz just putting on the pressure that way, and you can see it in his, geez, I almost want to call it recklessness of, like you're saying, flying around the map like that with a rail out. But he's just so aggressive, and I think he's just overpowering MDO at this point. I think it's just really just raw speed and just trying to force his hand, and whaz is kind of just hedging his bets that he'll come out ahead more often than not in these fights.
Well, MDO's, he's moving around really well, but I wonder sometimes, and I see this from a lot of Anarchy players who are up and coming, is the difficulty slowing it down when they need to, because you got to be, like I said, you really have to be careful running around the corners with Anarchy and getting caught with rockets. He's really not, he's not I'm going to dive in with rockets kind of. He wants to limit, get you low first and whittle you, and then if you can charge him with rockets, then do it, later when you have an advantage. But I just think it's very dangerous territory getting in a rocket battle with Anarchy.
Absolutely. I think 100% he's a skirmisher. He peeks in and out of battles. He gets a mathematical advantage, and then maybe he can take risks by showing his face in a fight. But until you know that you're ahead, that was just a good place to put a rocket. It's so easy to put it into the wall there, or just maybe fire it straight down and be less effective. No, he really saw the path of Ranger's fall there.
Yeah, whaz is really in a groove right now. He's gonna finish this guy.
Oh. See, great rocket.
Wow. That's just a little showing off there. A little whaz with a little highlight shot. A rocket jump off the wall and switch to rail and hit. That was just excellent play. Excellent play. Excellent play. Good stuff, whaz. Good stuff.
I think he might be warmed up by now, It's looking like it. Blood Covenant, man. Okay. So I think I've seen like Blood Run and Blood Covenant, basically, one of them every match. And then I've seen Ruins like twice tonight, I think. Yeah, wow.
Yes. That was pretty much annihilation there. That's just the only way to put it.
Well, when you go into that Anarchy like mirror at the very beginning, I think you have to sort of accept the fact that your match might not go very long.
I don't know. MDO's definitely got to make some adjustments, get his confidence back. Thinking about that match with whaz. Whaz was really on top of him, was really reading his movements, especially towards the end. I don't know if the pressure that whaz was putting on MDO really, I've mentioned before how it can get to you mentally and psychologically. It can really break you down during the course of a match, and you start making mistakes and mental errors that you normally wouldn't do because the pressure's just getting to you, right? And I feel pressure. I don't mean just mental pressure in terms of, oh, it's QuakeCon tournament, that kind of pressure. I mean the in-game pressure, like, wow, this guy's really good, or oh my gosh, I can't believe he hit that shot. And then you start making these adjustments that, it really is game affecting.
Absolutely. You start thinking about things that you normally wouldn't be thinking about. Normally you'd be thinking like, okay, I need to transition to this part of the map. I need to force his hand. But instead, you're sitting there thinking like, wow, did he really just like get 2 impressives in a row on me off spawn? Like, just sort of waste your time, so to speak. It eats up your brain power when you could be strategizing. You could be thinking about how to crush your opponent.
So I'm wondering, let's see how it starts here. whaz was looking really, really strong. Again, he has a Quake Live background, so he's going to be, this map is familiar to him, to say the least. Even with the changes. So. Yeah, it's very familiar to him.
And I love seeing this map remade. I love seeing Blood Run as well, obviously, ZTN. But I do say, like, when I first heard about Quake Champions and I first sort of started getting involved here, I had this like bias against maps that I already knew, but I'm quickly starting to realize that the newer maps, I'm like falling in love with them. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more lockboxes and keeps and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy Corrupted Keep. It's a fun map.
It's very cool design concept. So early
Ranger,
start here, yeah.
Ranger versus Anarchy. I like Ranger here with all the elevation changes.
Yeah, absolutely, and the Mega Start feels, pretty good. Ooh. So he gets 62 on a rocket. That's pretty good, but he's in rail range. And now they both are, as MDO picks up a rail of his own. I'm going to switch it over to whaz here right quick and see if he's going to be able to avoid Doom.
Yeah, a little too obvious there by MDO. When you pick up that armor out there by the rail jump pad, it's just standard play. whaz had the rockets waiting for him at that entrance. He's lucky that didn't end up worse for him, actually.
Maybe more.
Yeah, he's got to work on his decision making, I think, a little bit after watching, as I'm analyzing and kind of watching him play longer. I mentioned before, I've never seen him play before. Even there at the Mega, once he got that hit on him, he needed to get out of there. Even here, he's going to a Mega, the heavy armor area. When he's just respawned, he's only got a rail, and you just pick up the rocket. But like this battle right here is foolish, very foolish.
Yeah. And you can see it by moves like that. whaz can just sort of casually rocket jump over the bridge, and that's, I think, when MDO starts to realize like how outmatched he was in that particular engagement.
It took whaz a little bit to kill him there, but again, it was just poor decision making. You don't want to be there right after a death, challenging for that major item like that. That was a nice rail there. Like, his movement's really on point. It's just sometimes, like I say, I think he really needs to focus on where he's going and why he's doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And he does a good job of like not being surprised, or I guess just surprised by where his opponent is. But I do feel like he could be predicting it a little bit better and lining up his shots before he comes around the corner. Was that a gauntlet attempt, or I don't know? It looked like he had his gauntlet out for a second. I'm not sure.
Yeah, whaz, it's Anarchy coming around the corner into a rocket, and then he ate a follow-up, and that's it. You're toast. Full stack gone.
Yep. Yeah, you pretty much evaporate on Anarchy. Which is really satisfying if you're playing against the Anarchy. Really frustrating if you are the Anarchy.
MDO's in a bad spot. He needs to get above rail health, above rail armor. There you go. He's a little safer now.
He's bought himself a little bit of time, but not much. Just anything here. Ooh, didn't see him Catacombs, I don't think. Oh, maybe he did. Yeah, he's looking mid. Like, he definitely saw him. So whaz is kind of, I don't want to say he's just like giving up map control, but he doesn't seem to be in any particular rush when he sees MDO going for heavy armor and things like that. Do you think he just recognizes how much faster Anarchy is than him?
Well, you don't want to just go chasing somebody, especially not an Anarchy. I think he was more concerned with just kind of keeping a stack up and running the items, just kind of recovering after that death, stabilizing, getting an arsenal. MDO's really running back and forth really fast right now. So if whaz is smart, which he is, I'm sure he's just trying to lay a decent trap for him. One good shot on the Anarchy coming in, and you're looking to finish him. So I'd just be looking to lay a trap right now if I'm whaz.
Yeah, well, he's only got one rocket, worth noting. And that was it. But with an LG like that, ooh,
That was
what a
foolish.
hectic fight.
I don't know if whaz should have dropped down like that, especially with the mega up. He could have taken his time.
Yeah, that
Very
I
aggressive.
think that was an error on the orb as well.
I know what he was saying. I mean, he obviously had him on the ropes, but dropping straight down like that with an LG is not the best way to maximize how you're coming in at somebody with that gun.
I love seeing that air move where the Anarchy like comes out back above your head, back out towards the pool, and you're just like, wait a second, I can't aim that high.
Round begins in 3, 2.
This is a good matchup though.
Round.
I will say that these guys it seems a little more even here on Covenant. I think MDO is a little more suited to this particular map.
Even here, he's again. This is recognizing your weapon selection. He may get out of this. Oh,
Wow.
he may get out of this with great railing, but just recognizing that all he had was a rail. He's really fortunate he got out of that, because coming around the corner and open the map, all he had was a rail. He ran into a lightning gun. I mean, a railgun's nice, but you really need other weapons to back it up to really make it, to make it shine, I guess.
Yeah, I would love to see the stats on that starting weapon, like how quickly you die with just a rail versus a rail and a lightning gun, or a rail, lightning gun, and rocket. I'm sure the numbers would tell the tale.
Great ambush by MDO, and then coming out of the portal with a second rail. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have timing on anything, so whaz is right back up.
Yeah, he almost doesn't care, right? He eats 2 good shots, and he's like, well, that's fine. I'm just about to go be full stacked again. Whatever.
Good rocket play. I don't know if MDO maybe made a miscalculation, thinking after all the damage he did that he was somehow low. It looked like he was really aggressive on LG there, but good rocket play by whaz.
Yeah, it's like he didn't expect him to have gotten heavy armor over there.
Oh, he should have known it was up, so
Yeah.
he didn't grab it. Somebody else did, and there's only one other person on the map. So
Yeah, I think that's just like one of those little oversights. Maybe just a little too like stressed or fatigued. Match starting to get to him, or maybe honestly just thought it wasn't up for another 10 seconds. Not sure.
and
Those little things like that.
and little things. Oh, whaz has got him low right now. He should just easy finish. Oh, I'm surprised it didn't.
Yep, I like that splash just so you can pick up a little bit more mega.
Impressive.
It's kind of needless because it's more important on the armor that won't overcharge you. But I like seeing it as just a habit, splashing yourself to ensure you get the pickups.
I like that aggressive rocket jump by whaz there. That's just good. You can tell he's been experienced to Oh, he just missed that though. Recognizing spawn points, possible spawn points after a kill. So
Stopwatch.
I like that kind of play. 'Cause getting a spawn frag, especially in this game, with only a 3 frag limit, it's just huge. So if you can make a good aggressive play after a kill and get 2 for 1, you're probably looking at a good round for yourself.
Yeah, spawn kills feel much more devastating in this format than they did in a traditional duel.
Oh, definitely. With only 3 deaths.
Soul crushing, really, because it's just based on champion as well. So, what if you get spawn killed on your best champion? Things like that. It can really tilt you instantaneously. Whereas 1 death on a spawn might not be that big of a deal to you, but it's a very different beast here. You're just stuck on the wall.
Well, challenging for heavy armor, and he really wasn't in position to have a long fight over, and then trying to escape down those stairs. It's really rough.
Yeah, and trying to fight from those stairs is even worse. Huh. MDO backing off. whaz was really low there. I feel like MDO could have... I don't ever want to say, like, push the stairs and fight on the stairs, because that's an awful idea, but he might have actually made it work there. Maybe he was just smarter to pull away and try to set up some timings here.
Oh, he's good idea. Yeah.
Cool, so fast. I'm so aware too, you know, not leaving anything to chance, making really tight turns, very aware that someone is gunning for him the whole time. I think it's too easy for like most Anarchy players. One of the big mistakes they make is they're too lazy. They don't take full advantage of how insane their movement and air move is. And they just kind of get lazy. They give up easy rails. But this, you know, this movement coming out of MDO is kind of the opposite. Sense of urgency.
Got to make a move. Got
Oh,
30
yeah.
seconds.
Whoa.
The move was made by whaz instead.
Yep. But hey, that's kind of how you have to do it at the end of the day. You're down by Anarchy. You just have to find that good engagement, right? You're not necessarily gonna strong arm your way into a favorable encounter with any other champion, basically. Unless you whittle him down, you know, at first, like we've been talking about, that skirmisher style. But he just couldn't make that happen to begin with. But now, round 3, we see the Anarchy mirror coming back out. Pretty damn entertaining, if I do say so myself, the Anarchy mirror. I'm liking it more and more.
Oh, it's definitely a fun class to watch. The movement's great, but I want to see here. It's a great shot by MDO. Whoa. He's gonna look to follow up right now.
Every rock
Oh,
and
no.
rail.
Oh, he had position. He dropped down.
Oh.
He had position. He had high ground, and he dropped down into that. Just for those who are newer, he had good high ground. The rocket launcher. That's where he wanted to be. He could have kept punishing whaz with the rockets, and just taking care to make sure you don't get railed. Just peek over here and there if he tries to hot swap to you. But little poor decision making by MDO to drop down like that.
I think just a little overconfidence. Maybe a misread, but yeah, either way, not
Nice.
really positive.
Nice fake by whaz. He faked one way, came back hard the other. By the time MDO shot a rocket towards a shotgun and looked back, it was too late. whaz was already coming around the corner, shooting rockets of his own. It's good redirection there. I like plays like that. It shows whaz is really thinking, and just trying to read MDO. Like, that's a big part of the game. Everybody gets so caught up in running items. You gotta read where your guy is.
Absolutely. I feel like that's something that whaz is pretty much got completely dialed in at this point in this matchup. And like, we've pointed out several times that like MDO doesn't have any timings. That's because whaz is just reading the situation better every single time, I think.
Yeah, wonderful aim, MDO. He hits some of these wonderful flick shots. He's got some work to do on the mental aspect of DueL. Definitely extremely talented, though.
Absolutely. And this could be like a new player. This could be some guy that's never played Quake. In a month from now, he'll be blowing our minds. He'll be demolishing to hang or something. Just can't wait.
That's those stairs. He hit him with good rockets and came down with a rocket launcher on him when he's trying to go down those steps, which you can't really, if you try to stop yourself going down go back up the steps, the momentum of going down the steps really messes with your movement in this game. So it's not a good area to be in.
No, absolutely not. And it's not wide enough for you to really dodge anything. So any rockets just anywhere are going to affect your movement and obviously do damage. And it's just a terrible place to fight. Always will be, I think.
I like that play by whaz. He wasn't in position to challenge. Just let him pick it up and put a little poke rail in there and come fight, be in good position for Mega. And now he's in a power spot now. That guy's not going to come for him.
Yeah, no way. Not after taking the rail to the foot.
But this is a good illustration of how you're getting control back. I mean, whaz is going to take this heavy armor now. But you see, he did the poke rail, heavy armor, ran off, got better position for the next item. So, the other guy's going to have to push in, and he'll have a defensive advantage. Nice play. Good shooting. whaz looking sharp. Looking sharp.
He definitely is. Very impressed.
Very, very calm the way he goes about his business. I like it.
I was just about to comment that he's very, very disciplined in his movements. So yeah.
For MDO, I would think